The Moto Guzzi.
It is pronounced Gussie.
Oh, that's right, Moto Guzzi. What's up, Burrito? Shade Tree Surgeon here in an undisclosed garage at an undisclosed quantum location somewhere in the universe at the bottom of a deep well, at the bottom of a deep pit, somewhere out there at the bottom of a deep well where things scribble and scratch and try to claw to the surface and sometimes manifest themselves, of course, as the one, the only, the astounding Kayla Asher, aka Dragonbot, with her big black Mercury, aka the Bad Dragon.
Oh!
Dragonbot and the Bad Dragon are in this disclosed.
Okay. No way, I can't do it. I can't. No, you cannot call this car Bad Dragon.
Well, right now this dragon's not making any fire. Not that it doesn't run, but in our undisclosed quantum entanglement up here, there is no heat and it's getting cold. So, a lot of you guys in the audience are familiar with the Panther platform and you'll know that they are notorious for the blend doors on the AC going out. We're going to try to change it without pulling the whole dash, and if that fails, we're just going to do the cheap and easy way. So, I'm not going to do it. Dragonbot watched a video. That's what YouTube is. It's the magic toolbox. So I'm going to supervise and make sure she doesn't break anything too important. And she is going to do this all by herself.
What the I fix computers.
This is similar to a computer, just a little more analog.
You can fix this without breaking it, I can.
That is a good point. First things first, you're going to use this screwdriver carefully. I'm just going to be the nurse and hand her the tools. This job frustrates the hell out of people. People hate doing the blend door, but I believe in you.
Thanks.
Oh, you didn't even need the screwdriver for it. There's going to be one connector behind it. There you go. Yeah, take them both off. Or you can just take one off and flop the whole thing over. I mean, she goes, is this going to shock me? And I go, no, all those movies where they're torturing people with car batteries is bullshit. Now, you can do some accidental welding and make something red hot. That wouldn't be good. Or not the best. I mean, you're probably not going to.
Should I be holding it here or here?
Wherever. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? What if I break it?
You're not going to break it.
Other hand?
Yeah, use both hands.
Ah!
Damn it. I mean, maybe it's my bang. I was like waiting for it.
Ah!
All right, throw that glove over it so we definitely don't connect because you don't want that airbag going off when we pull it.
I used to have a wrist thing for this shit.
I meant put the glove on, like so they don't accidentally touch. Or are you just putting it on just for fun?
I don't know what the fuck you meant, man. Like, you just told me to put on a glove.
No, I'm sorry. I meant just do like this. There's no chains. Yeah.
We're doing the demon core, but with the glove.
All right, now we can pull the airbag. And if you're wondering where the undisclosed location is, you are here. Get under there to see the ones that hold it in underneath. One of my favorite things when somebody first starts working on cars is when they go, why would they do it like this? With that moment when you realize only an engineer would crawl over 50 naked, beautiful women just to fuck a mechanic. Bang!
It's a big bitch. Whoa, now.
There's a power of a shotgun shell behind that.
What?
That's what airbag. There's going to be a lot of techs or people who work on cars out there right now going like, you're going to have Kayla's very first experience working on a car be pulling a dash.
Woo!
Might as well get the worst shit out of the way first.
Okay, hold on a second. This is weird.
Careful now, careful. Whoa, God!
I thought you might actually drop it there for a second.
Isn't it funny how you need to hold the flashlight there even though you can't even see what your hand is doing?
Yep, nope, I just need to put it here. I need to look at something.
Yeah.
I need stimulation.
Yeah, you are like a chimpanzee with a long, sticky piece of grass trying to get...
It helps me focus, okay?
Trying to get ants out of the ground.
Motherfucker! I'm already swearing like I'm working on a car.
Many motherfuckers involved in pulling a dash.
Uh-oh.
You guys can't see it, but neither can she. The dreaded back bolt on the actuator, which if you've ever done one of these, you know what a bitch it is. I tried to do it and I couldn't do it, and Kayla got it. Bro, this is high level bullshittery right here. This is high level, I hate engineers levels of bullcrap.
This is some fucking bullshit right here. Actually some fucking bullshit.
Most people are like, I'll teach you how to do an oil change. Not pull a dash. Though pulling a dash is much more useful. You can get someone to change your oil for 50 bucks. Can't get someone to do this for 50 bucks. The new unit is in. And I did have to kind of take over, but that's okay. This is not an easy job.
Well, we had to like cut the shit in there.
Yeah, we had to modify it to go in there, but it is in there. So now let's screw it in, plug it in, and then turn the heat on and see if this actually works.
With the garage door open.
Yeah, we'll open the garage door. I get sad sometimes, not that sad.
After Kale and I fixed the heat in the car, which is definitely not called the Bad Dragon, we headed out to brave the cold on a road trip to see family for Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, snowstorms had other plans, and we only made it as far as Niagara Falls before calling it off. And since we were already there, we decided to make the best of it. Niagara Falls on the Canada side of the border is an uncannily familiar place. The second generation of tourist trap. Very familiar if you're from anywhere around Orlando, Las Vegas, or Myrtle Beach. It's a dying breed, the kind of place I do not think will ever be recreated. No one's gonna spend the money on this kind of place again. It's garish, almost childish in its appearance, with close to theme park levels of facades vying for your attention. Driving through downtown feels like some sort of surreal acid trip, trying to imagine the people who made the decisions that led to giant monsters festooning buildings and grotesqueries of fiberglass creatures littering the landscapes. Who in their right mind would ever spend the money on this amalgamation of disparate themes, which, viewed from the eye of 2025, look like they're hilariously dated before they were even days old, let alone decades. It's the culmination of American road trip culture, the world's biggest ball of yarn brought to its most decadent conclusion. Almost retro-futuristic in its permanence, with that childlike wonder of gigantic spectacle that seems hopelessly optimistic in the grim darkness of what horrors and wonders exist on the black mirror living in your pocket.
I love it.
We went to the Bird Kingdom first, which, taken for its wildlife and preservation alone, is inherently a good place. But the entire joint is just thick with the miasma of desperation.
Cute.
That's a word?
Oh, he's a worm.
No, he looks like a turd floating.
It's a freaking eel.
It feels like an abandoned world, caught between dimensions, with a skeleton crew that has no other choice but to try and fail to claw their way back into a world that doesn't want them and that they don't understand anyway.
I didn't know it was going to be that kind of show. Hey, staring.
People don't make places like this anymore. The facades clash. South American temples grind against Roman influence, while for some reason a half-hearted stab at Egyptian mythology also leaves a scar. The place looks inherently cheap, but only because of its desperation to please someone. Anyone, please.
How'd you get in here? That's just a bird from outside.
I assure you, a place like this is not cheap, but the world has moved on. And if I come back in 5 years and find the Egyptian room replaced with a Minecraft-themed adventure and our effeminate explorer guide's job poached by an internet micro-celebrity, I'll know true and well that I'm hearing the death rattle of this kingdom.
What's your favorite flavor?
Ew.
I don't like lemon. I'm more of a, but I don't know if that's lime or watermelon.
Watermelon.
On that expedition, on the other side of the blue light, relive the journey with me.
And yet, I love it.
He's just a bird from outside that they got in here with all these macaws and toucans. Busted, dude.
I love that it exists, and I love that I can still give myself into the wonder of spectacle. It doesn't even feel nostalgic. It just feels good, man. Like going to the movies with a big bucket of popcorn or walking through the fun house at the carnival. I only feel melancholy a bit because I see it dying, but my experience feels just as good as it always has in a place like this. Maybe it's the company. You know, maybe it's these places are made for families, for friends. I can experience the wonder of the natural world alone sometimes, but the spectacle of man and all its misguided, eager to please glory is best shared with somebody. Even better if that someone is just as willing to shed their cynicism and suspicion and allow themselves to be wowed by a place that is desperately eager to do so.
Oh.
Go home, man. It's 3 a.m.
Kayla doesn't just shed her cynicism for this, she removes it so cleanly it's like it never existed in the first place. It's just part of who she is and why her Orion project is such a staggeringly beautiful piece of art. Something that still dares to hope in a world that sneers at the concept.
God, I have so many on me!
Yeah.
Overburdened.
Are you over?
Following her lead, since for some reason she packed a dragon costume, Wizard Golf was the next logical choice. If you're around my age, you didn't catch Star Wars the first time around, but you probably remember the theatrical re-release of the original trilogy in 1997. My grandmother took us to all those movies, and she dressed us all up in costumes to see every one as it came out. It's felt like that. There's just something so special about allowing yourself to immerse like no one's watching, and to know if they are watching and they do mock, it's usually because they lack the capacity to surrender themselves to small experiences and let them become large.
She's in the chains. Today we're
Bro.
gonna earn our freedom.
Wizard Golf, again, was just another hopelessly dog-eared children's book that somehow is still on the bookshelf.
But wait.
Oh, yeah! That's right.
The space felt liminal, on the edges of realities, like any moment just ready to be devoured by the Langoliers. Teetering on the edge and held together with duct tape though it was, we still easily had an amazing time.
Bro, what is up? What'd they do to this one?
We didn't have the benefit of a fabulous theater kid to tell the story at Wizard Golf, but we just went ahead and made up our own as we went through each endearingly underwhelming hole. I can't help but compare it to the world's newest theme park. Mr. Beast Land in Saudi Arabia is just a place that's so lifeless that it looks dystopian. And I've got nothing against Mr. Beast, but it's a sad, to me anyway, future spelled out in that gray waste, where the theme of the park is that everybody knows who Mr. Beast is. That's where it starts and stops. How do you theme for that? Where are the fiberglass dinosaurs and upside down houses, the fake Rex airplanes in the Congo, the mini pyramids and the Roman pillars? They don't have to spend money on that. One person's celebrity is the theme, and that's a much cheaper thing to produce and sells at a much higher profit margin than an underground blacklight golf course full of dragons and wizards.
This is actually my new boyfriend.
This might strike you as a sad last gasp of a world that will never get back.
Don't worry, babe, I got you. This one's for you.
Certainly this monologue could be interpreted as such, but everything dies, including you and I. I'm glad I got to experience being alive at the same time as this particular brand of human spectacle, and that enough of them are so clean to life that I can go back and immerse myself every once in a while. And if you'd like to support Kayla's charge to keep hope and imagination alive in an increasingly flattened gray world, consider signing up for the Orion Project beta test.
Code's been cracked.
It's a completely unique AI experiences that uses 3 separate AIs with 3 defined personalities to create something that's never been done before and will hopefully go on to make the world a better place and change the laws governing AI for the better to protect everyone. Follow the link down below and allow some of the imagination that seemed so vast when you were a kid to come back to life in a space where you're not judged, but celebrated for immersing yourself in creativity and wonder. And plus it gets you a free entry into the raffle that we're pulling after this video. Now, let's get back to the wang. I've had about enough of snow.
This is the one that sounds like a monster, right?
It does. This one sounds pretty freaking dope. The Moto Guzzi.
It is pronounced Gussie.
Oh, that's right. Moto Guzzi. Jay Lisi on the Moto Guzzi. I'm going to be on David Tyler's Goldwing. Both giveaway bikes, though that bike is getting given away if you're watching this video during the premiere in a few hours from now. As much fun as I have tinkering, sometimes it's time to just set down the tools and hop on a motorcycle that was built, you know, sometime within the past 20 years instead of the past 40 or 50 years. You know, I don't currently own a newer motorcycle, but I'm going to enjoy David's Goldwing before we give it away. You know, of course, Jay Lisi's never even been on the Moto Guzzi. I wanted to hear what the pipes sounded like on that bike while I was on another motorcycle, because they sound badass when I'm on it. I need to hear the flyby. Bro, I can hear that thing growling behind me. Dude, it sounds good with the exhaust pointed backwards behind me. Damn, dude, that thing is freaking mean. It's our last day with the Moto Guzzi. Well, I mean, technically not our last day. Tomorrow's our last day. We're filming this on Saturday, but we will be live streaming directly after this video, pulling a early winner from one of the tickets that anyone has bought, and you can still buy to win this Goldwing right here, with 100% of the proceeds, of course, going directly to charity, directly to Forgotten Angels. Damn, dude, this Goldwing freaking rips, dude. It is so fast. Absolutely wild how fast this bike is. You were to bust out this bike in freaking like 1985, which I know is an unfair comparison. Oh shit. A Goldwing might have the speed, but the Guzzi's got the moxie, baby. It's got the sound and the swagger, the thunder. And Jay Lisi with the Wanjamin hanging out. It's still there. See her checking for her spellcaster. That's a Sessions spellcaster back there from our potion masters over there at Sessions Cannabis Extracts, Dimitri. He's a lot nicer than Snape, though. Dimitri's an awesome dude, and yeah, he recently got his first motorcycle as well. I don't know who's gonna end up with that Moto Guzzi, but whoever does, you're getting a fun little ripper of a bike, man. That thing really is a blast. Yes, the Wanjamin is still there.
Because of my height, I'd say only like 1 in 7 raffle motorcycles are gonna work for me. Weight, height, if the motorcycle has forward controls, then it's basically a no from me. Not always, but basically. Oh, I like bike. This motorcycle is so different. It almost feels like my Honda Magna a little bit, based off of my first impressions anyways. Whee! Oh yeah, this bike is fun! And the best part is I have no idea how fast I'm going. And if you don't know, are you really breaking the law? I know ignorance is not innocent in the eyes of the law, but I am part of the law-abiding citizens club. I promise it wasn't me, sir. And if it was, you'll never take me alive. Bye, horsey! I like how it sounds, I like how it rides. I don't know much about Moto Guzzis, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know about the engine or the specs. I mean, this is my second time on an Italian motorcycle ever. But I can say, I like how it sounds, I like how it feels. I like bike! I wanna see the puppy. Hey, puppy! Okay, bye-bye, puppy. Although I'm so, guys, I swear I'm not gay. Josh and I are gluttonous. We are not greedy. Although we want every motorcycle, we do want others to have motorcycles as well. The more people on the road, the better. I am the king of Guzzis.
We'll be live streaming directly after this video, so make sure you keep your cell phones on tonight because somebody's getting a phone call. We literally just gave away a motorcycle 2 days ago. If you like to wait till the last minute to buy a ticket, now's the time. And of course, you know, those tickets still enter you to win this gold wing and anything else we might give away in between now and then. The Moto Guzzi, aka the Performative Male, as written by Shay Lisi. And if you hadn't stopped by the Shay Lisi channel, well, make sure you head over there. She just recently released a new video and she literally spent like 4 or 5 days editing it. You guys know how YouTube is. If you take a little break, the algorithm definitely punishes you. It is not friendly to that. So you guys probably didn't get notified that she released a video. Go check it out. There's a pretty awesome segment in it, that like a commercial that she did for Brapstar. Those 2 minutes took her 12 hours to edit. So I'm really proud of her. She busted her ass on it. I'll have a link to her video down below.
Yeah, I'd say it runs all right.
What's up, Weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, and it's time to fix some of my mistakes. Namely, making a mistake with Shay Lisi's Sportster. You see, we were rewiring it with a Gremlin wiring kit and relocating the coil and the key switch with one of these handy kits right here. A lot of people sell them. I forget where we got this one from. I think it might be a TC Bros one. But what I didn't take into account is most of the people using these are using chopper tanks, and the petcock on a stock Sportster tank does not fit past this. On the pre-2003s, there's a big hole cut out there, and yeah, anyway, does not work. And Shay Lisi loves her stock Sportster tank, and it goes with her seat. She wants to keep it, but we do want to relocate the coil, so try to somehow combine these two things and weld it together and make it work. We'll see if that's possible or not, but it was my mistake, so let's try and fix it. I know we're gonna have to relocate the key switch somewhere else anyway, so that's gonna be the first thing to go. Here's my own personal reminder that I really need to get my vise set up in the new shop. Gotta be quick on the draw. Hell yeah. Took our time on that one and less mishaps. That should be big enough for a fuel hose. I'm hoping. Looks like this is possibly going to work. Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wiener. Took a little bit of doing, a little bit of spray paint, a little bit of cutting and grinding and drilling of holes, but the coil's now relocated and the wiring cleaned up. Not completely, we still gotta get rid of these controls. But let me show you why we spent so much time relocating that coil in case you don't know. It was to do this, which a lot of people achieve by doing a tank lift. Now, if you do a tank lift on a Sportster for about, you know, $20 or $30, I guess you could just make them yourself. It just raises this tank up and then you can kind of tuck everything underneath there and hide all your wires. Well, instead of doing that, you simplify your wiring, you get rid of your coil and your ignition being up there, and you achieve that look, that gap right there that I think really looks good. Having that negative space there on a Sportster, I think looks awesome. And you achieve it without having some hinky-dinky, crappy-looking little pieces of metal up there. Is it a ton more work? Yes, it is, especially to relocate the coil because of the custom work, custome, we'll call it, work we had to do to this motor mount and coil relocation kit. On top of the Pingle, which I had one of these, I had a Pingle, but you know, if you got to buy one, they're they're not cheap. I don't know, man. Somebody might make a coil relocation kit that relocates it there, that allows for the use of a stock Harley-Davidson tank and a stock Harley-Davidson petcock. If they do, I don't know about it. Now, all of this can be solved by putting a chopper tank with a different petcock on there, or you can do what I did. Now, one of the modifications, me cutting off where the key switch goes in, I had to do that because we ordered one with it. You can get coil relocation brackets that don't have the key switch tab on there. We have the key on it right now, but personally, I just put a switch on it. If you live in an area where motorcycles get stolen a lot, for me, I don't know, man. I'm used to riding choppers around and really sketchy bikes that almost never have keys. My XS650 doesn't have a key. It doesn't even have an off switch. You just kickstart it. It's got a magneto. Starts like a lawnmower, man. I've ridden bikes across the country that don't have a key. What you do is you just hide the off switch. You hide it somewhere where only you know where it is, and there you go. That's, to me, that's as good as a key. And if someone really wants to steal your bike, they're gonna get it. And the fact that it has or doesn't have a key usually isn't gonna factor into it that much, unless your on switch is just marked bright yellow that says thieves, push this switch to ride my motorcycle away. So, you know, just hide it somewhere and it will not be an issue. Probably. That's not legal advice. So if you have a pre-2003 Sportster, this is what your stock bracket looks like. And it has that big hole in there, like I showed you before. So this petcock can hang down in there. And this is why the coil relocation, unless you're running a chopper tank, that's why it doesn't work. This isn't even a vacuum petcock, but it's the same dimensions as a stock Harley-Davidson Sportster petcock. This is a Pingle. These are gonna run you a little over $100. Maybe somebody makes a knockoff. I had these already, so I use an actual Pingle. I probably buy a Chinesium knockoff if it exists. I'm just being honest, guys. That's me. Probably do that, but luckily I had a Pingle lying around. You're gonna want one that has a side exit. You see, I couldn't even have used this Pingle because it has a straight up and down fuel exit, kind of like the stock petcock has. And you're gonna want one that goes off to the side. You can either snake around that coil relocation engine bracket, or you can do what I did and drill a hole in it. I just didn't want to put the fuel hose so close to the cylinder. Anyway, if you have a post 2003, 2004 and up Sportster, you don't have to worry about this. You can, it's really easy to do and you don't have to worry about all this bullshit. They're way easier to do. If you have a pre-2003 Sportster and you want to have that clean look and have that negative space there under the tank without putting a janky freaking tank lift on it, you're gonna have to jump through a couple of hoops. So anyway, I had somebody complain to me the other day. They're like, I love that your videos are all over the place and there's like 10 different videos in one, and I like making those videos too. But they did say it makes it very hard to find things. Like when I wanna, oh, that was a good bit of information that Shade Tree shared. I'd like to find that. And you know, it's buried in some freaking 45-minute long video that goes 10 different places and is in 5 different states. And at minute 37, there's a tidbit of information on how to fix this one thing that they'd like to revisit. I don't know what to do about that. So on to the next segment. Intermittent issues. 2 words that nobody working on a motorcycle are a computer, a human being. No 2 words that anybody ever wants to hear. When you have an intermittent issue, you have to recreate the problem. If it's intermittent enough, sometimes even when you recreate the circumstances, sometimes it still doesn't appear. Chasing ghosts, usually electrical when you're dealing with motorcycles, but not always. Besides, any electrical problem has a physical reason why it's not happening. Electronics and wiring is not magic. There is still a physical reason that everything is happening there. It just is, it just has to do with wires instead of compression and pistons. And anyway, I have an intermittent issue with the GT750 2-stroke back there, and I think I know what it is. It accidentally deleted the footage of last time it left me stranded, but ended up having to push it. This was an issue that was even coming up when I first got it back on the road. So it will run absolutely fine for a while and then it will die. We're getting fine fuel to the carbs. It's not starved for fuel. It doesn't have any vacuum leaks. The electronic ignition seems fine, and even more telling, sometimes when it'll die, when it comes back to life, it comes back on 1 cylinder, maybe 2 cylinders, and it comes back to life after you've let it sit for a second, i.e. after you've let it cool down for a second. So what this tells me is it's heat related. So something about the engine heating up, or not even the engine heating up, but the coils heating up, is causing this thing to drop 1, 2, or all 3 cylinders, even though when it's cold, it starts up just fine. So what can happen with coils, especially old coils that have sat around for a long time? We've talked about this with the CB750 chopper. They will work fine for a while, then they stop working once they go through a few heat cycles or are hot for a while, because they have internal wiring. And when that internal conductivity gets broken, it doesn't always just have a clean break where the coil is just trashed and it doesn't work anymore. A lot of times what happens is that coil will work while it's cold, and then once it heats up, because the coils do get hot as the electricity from the battery is going to them, so when they get hot, they expand, and if there is a crack or a small break in there, maybe even a small enough break that with enough electricity, it could, jump the gap, maybe not create as good of a spark, but jump the gap. It heats up, they pull apart, it expands, and then you drop the cylinders. It cools down, it contracts, and then all of a sudden you've got a good connection again, and the bike runs fine. That's what I think is happening. I don't know that that is what's happening, but I think that's what's happening. So what we have to do is get the motorcycle up to temperature to where it fails and loses a cylinder. Then we have to check for spark, and we also have to check the resistance on the coil. It doesn't stay not running for long. Once it shuts off, if you leave it shut off for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it'll fire right up again on all 3 cylinders and run again. You actually have a pretty small window to be able to test whether those coils are working or not. Let's go ahead and give that a whirl, but we're gonna have to be fast.
It always feels kind of weird getting on a bike and knowing that it's going to break. I think I'd be used to this now because I've done it on cross-country trips before, but hopefully be a little more immediate, and hopefully I'm not too far away before it happens. That was the prime kick. We'll start on the first kick, right? That's the first kick. We got all 3 cylinders, runs like a champ. It's that intermittent stuff on a bike that'll just drive you nuts. Not to mention on this bike, when you're testing and tuning, drive your neighbors nuts. Okay, we got all 3 cylinders now. I've pushed heavier bikes farther, but I don't want to get too far away from home here. It's like, come on, brake already, right? What are you waiting for? It's waiting for me to be the farthest away where I have to push it is what it's waiting for. I can hear it starting to break up there a little bit. Oh, is that it? Are we dying? Yes, yes! I mean, no, damn it. Okay, we did. That was it. We did. Alright. I wasn't imagining things. It didn't magically fix itself. The only question now is, will it get me home on 1 cylinder, or am I going to have to push? I can push it from where I am, but if we can make it home, I will. That doesn't sound great. This is how I know that it's those coils are heating up under use, and it's breaking the connection on, I would say at this point, 2 of them. We had 1 go out first, and now the second one's failed, and we're just running on 1 cylinder here. And it doesn't much like running on 1 cylinder, I'll be honest with you guys. We'll turn it off a little bit. I bet if I sit here and wait a few minutes, it'll fire right back up on all 3 cylinders. All right, it's been a couple minutes. I left my camera on, so I'll put how many minutes it's actually been. We'll start it up and see if we got all 3. And we do. Would you look at that? Crazy, man. Well, it's not crazy. It's exactly what I expected. I already felt it drop a cylinder there. I'm just going to do a couple more laps and wait for it to really, really kick in. Or I guess, kick off. There we go. There we go. Didn't take long.
Free rides, they don't just come along every day.
What year is it?
Hey, welcome to 2000. Wait, let me see. 98.
3 years after I came out.
Came out as what?
Out the womb.
Oh, all right. All right. Whoa, what's that? Never mind about that. Let's work on the Suzuki. Even right now, just putting my hands on the coil, you guys saw on the right, I was dropping one cylinder, then 2 cylinders, but would usually still be able to get it run kind of on 1 cylinder. So just putting my hands on the coils, the coil on the rightmost cylinder is cool to the touch, and the coil on the center and left cylinder are heating up pretty damn good. So these should be either 3 ohm or 5 ohm coils. It's got an aftermarket electronic ignition on it. So, but if they're original coils, they're probably 5 ohm coils because that's what you'd need if you had points on it. 3 ohm coils don't have enough resistance and they'll burn up the point. So testing that first one, what we got here? On the center coil, we've jumped all the way up to 7.5 ohms on the center coil after it's heated up. That's not what you want to see. That's too much. And on the rightmost coil, I don't exactly have the best connection on this either. Jeez, now that they're out of here, I'm probably gonna have to replace this connection. It's been on here since 1975 and it is only made of plastic. The left coil, we are showing not as high. We got 6 ohms on that one, but still out of spec. I think I was right. I would call it guessing. Is it a guess? An educated guess. I think my educated guess was correct in what was happening to these coils. Now that's kind of where we stop with the GT750 2-stroke because I went ahead and preemptively ordered those coils, but they ain't gonna be here for a couple days. So I don't know, instead of working on motorcycles, let's ride them instead. All right, team, there you have it. Our final hours with the Moto Guzzi, the Kang, baby. Directly following this video, we're gonna be doing a live stream. Keep your phones on because somebody is getting that motorcycle. And while there is only one Guzzi, just like Hot Chocolate says, everybody's a winner because the winner here is Forgotten Angels. The winner is the young men and women who have aged out of the foster care program and thought that their lives were over or were never even going to start and have been given the opportunity, their very first chance to succeed by all of you guys out there, by the wonderful gentleman who donated this motorcycle. You guys supporting this channel, Shaylisi's channel, Kaz Motors, Kayla, Dragon Bots, Orion Project. Don't forget about Sessions out there in the PNW. There's a link down below to grab your ticket. And don't forget, as always, if you are signed up for the Orion project, for the beta testing, you are entered into this raffle. And if you would like to sign up, I have an unlisted playlist down below of a bunch of videos explaining what it is. This is Kayla Astor, who you saw early in the video. It is her project that she's been working on for years. It is an incredibly unique system, 3 separate AIs to work together to make something that has literally never been done before. To get in on the beta testing, it's $9 a month, but that $9 a month gets you 1 free entry into these raffles, which would otherwise cost you $25. On top of that, you get access to be able to use Orion and get to be a part of a community that is trying to change the world for the better. Artificial intelligence is a very scary thing that is going to some very scary, very dangerous places. Even up until this point, Orion has already been attacked. It's just already had people try to shut it down. What Kayla is trying to do with this is she's trying to change laws, trying to change legislation, trying to change how we treat this in our everyday lives. Because right now, there are a lot of bad actors out there who are using artificial intelligence to do some pretty horrendous things, to be able to influence people and exert control over people's lives in a way that is not only reprehensible, but should be against the law. So if you've ever wanted to prevent that whole Skynet thing from happening, that's what Kayla's trying to do with Orion. That link's down below. The link to the Forgotten Angels raffles down below. Every single ticket enters you to win David's Gold Wing as well. And I'm sure we'll be giving away something else in between tonight and when we finally pull the ticket for the Gold Wing. So grab your ticket now. We're going to jump into that live stream. We are bad people doing good things. And thank you to all of you guys for making sure that I'm not a bad
person trying my best to do good things. And it's bad people. We are a weird, stinky collective. And while the stench might be hard to deal with, feels pretty good, baby. That's gonna about do it for this one. See you guys real soon in the live stream. And till then, till the live stream, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree, army. Shade Tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.